everyone, my name is Kelsey Coleman, and today I'm going to be talking about the country of Greece and whether or not it should hold an international sporting event. So just a little introduction and some background information about the country. Greece is located in the southern part of Europe, and as you can see from the map, the countries that border it are Albania, the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, Bulgaria, and Turkey. Its capital is Athens, and according to Country Watch, the population is 10,768,477 people. The currency of Greece is the euro, and their official language is Greek. And also the religion of mostly all the citizens in the country is Greek Orthodox. So first we're going to talk about the political side, and we're going to start with the pros of the country. And the first is the political risk index, and this is on a scale of 1 to 10, and Greece is kind of right in the middle. It's 4.5 to 5. And according to Country Watch, this index is a proprietary index measuring the level of risk posed to governments, corporations, and investors based on a myriad of political and economic factors. And on this scale, the lower the number means the higher the risk. So Greece having a 4.5 to 5 rating is kind of right in the middle, so it's not completely stable, but it's not completely unstable either. Next we have the freedom rankings, and these are the political rights and the civil liberties of the citizens, and this is also based on 1 to 10. And the higher the number means the more free that they are, and the higher their liberties stand. So as you can see, political rights is number 1, which is the lowest you can go, which is the best you can go. And civil liberties is 2. And their overall freedom status is free. So all their citizens are completely free. The next is political stability, and Greece has a ranking of 6, and this is also on a scale of 1 to 10 again. And this index, defined by Country Watch, is a proprietary index measuring a country's level of stability, standard of good governance, record of constitutional order, respect for human rights, and overall strength of democracy. So them being kind of in the middle again, on the higher end, which is the 6, it shows that they have a relatively stable political environment. It's not completely stable, but it's not completely unstable either. So next we have the national security, and we're going to talk about the external threats first. There aren't really any external threats from the neighboring countries. Greece doesn't really have any tension with the neighboring countries, so there really isn't any risk posed by that. And terrorism, there have only been a few cases of domestic terrorism, nothing, like I said before, from the neighboring countries. And an example of this, where there isn't any terrorism, is the 2004 Olympic Games. There were 0 threats posed by neighboring countries or domestic groups. There weren't any terrorist events. However, there is a con, which is a negative side, and this is the crime rate. Greece has a very high rate of drug-related crimes, especially in areas frequented by tourists. So, as stated, this is not good for the international athletes or the fans that come along with the teams, because they're going to go to these places where tourists usually go, and if there are these crimes, then it's obviously not good. So next, we're going to talk about economics. I'm not sure how much you guys know about Greece's economy, but there aren't really any positives. It's just mainly negatives. In 2009, they experienced a very severe recession, and during this time, they also violated a pact that Greece made with the EU. This pact was that they had to keep their budget deficit above 3%, and in 2009, they actually reported a deficit of 15%, which then violated this pact. Also, in the following year, 2010, Greece was awarded the lowest possible credit rating by a leading credit agency, which is not good. And as a result of this low credit rating, the country had to be loaned $147 billion, which was the largest bailout ever recorded in history. And the recession did come to a halt in 2014, there's still this major tension between the government and the public. There's this fear that there are going to be more bailouts, and the economy is it's still relatively unstable, but it's going to become even more unstable and could potentially collapse. So for the social side, we're going to start with positives. Greece was ranked 22 out of 160 countries on the Human Development Index, and this index is used to rank the quality of life in the country. And as a result of the low ranking, it is said that Greece has a very high human development. Next, we have the Gender-Related Development Index, and Greece was ranked 24 out of 140 countries, which is also relatively low. This index shows how the different genders in the countries are able to develop when they're compared to each other. And as a result, Greece's ranking means that there is not much gender difference when it comes to development. There is a negative side though. The unemployment rate of Greece is very high. It's 10.8%, and this is coming from Country Watch. This shows that their economy's not good. Next we have technology, and we're going to start with positives. There's not very much information on Greece's technology, but what I could find was positive. Since the recession ended, the younger generation has made strides in the IT department. According to an article titled "The New Face of Greece, Modern, Innovative, and Inviting," there were 16 different Greek high-tech organizations that were present at a festival dedicated to startups and the computer-related side. And this shows that the technology is growing in Greece, and it shows that the younger generation is supporting this growth. Also, Facebook is very big in Greece. According to an article titled "Social Media Guide," there are about 4 million Facebook users in Greece, and this is about 36% of their population. And of these people on Facebook, about 90% of them are business workers. And then it also states that 63% of these business workers also use LinkedIn. However, there is a negative side, and it's related to cell phones. There really isn't a good way to use a cell phone in Greece. It's very expensive to bring your own phone over, and there's very limited area of coverage. So the best thing that I could find is that you should actually just rent a cell phone. And you can pay by the minute. It's kind of paid for as you go. And there are specific areas in Greece that offer Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi for the phones and laptops and people who are traveling. So in conclusion, I found that Greece is not a good country to host an international event. Although there were many positives to the country, the negatives were just overwhelmingly more, and they held more weight. For example, their economy is just not stable enough to support an international event of this size. So overall, Greece is just not a good country. Thank you. Here are my back.